name is Andy Agostini, Agostini.
Can you tell us something, what's new from NHL 12?
Sure. So this year is the biggest jump in the franchise that we've had in the last 6 years. So in NHL 07, we gave you the skill stick to move your hands separate from your feet. In NHL 09, we did Be a Pro, and the EA Sports Hockey League lets people play as their own character and go online and play with each other. What we've done this year is we made 2 major gameplay innovations and 2 game mode innovations. So with gameplay, we've done True Performance Skating, which is a new skating engine that has 1,000 new animations, and it's physics-based. So the players now, their speed, strength, and momentum. Basically, in the past, you could turn 90 degrees very quickly, made it very easy to get to the front of the net, and things that you would think, oh, a hockey player can't really do that. Well, now with momentum, if you're skating at top speed and you want to turn, it's a lot harder to turn like a real NHL player. So that's the skating engine. We also have creativity. With all the new animations, we've allowed you to now open up your skating to different levels. So in the past, your stick and your feet, they were kind of tied together because your feet couldn't do as much as your hands could. Well, now your feet can do as much as your hands. So some of the creativity that we've seen with people playing the game, it's a big change. Everyone's scoring goals that are much more natural to hockey, and players are doing a lot of the different things that you see on TV. And in the past, they did it, but now it's just another level. We're actually very excited to watch people create their own goals and stuff, and we have a very big community that posts a lot of videos of what they've done in the game. So we're very excited to see what they're going to create when they get their hands on the new skating. And then for the EA Sports Hockey IQ, which is our new strategies and systems that we put in, we had a professional coach come into the building and sit down with us and basically did a coaching 101, explained all the different styles of play and how they work. And then our programmers spent more time this year on strategy and AI than they did in the last 3 years combined. So they really focused on bringing all the strategies that are in the NHL that maybe the normal person watching the game don't really know or don't notice them, but we have them all in the game. So now your hockey that you're playing is going to be much more realistic, and it's going to be much more positionally sound. So you're not going to have situations where you might run out of position and your defense doesn't know what they're doing. They're actually going to try and cover for you and fix that situation for you. Also, we've done work on our goalies. Their new limb animation system allows the goalie to actually move his arms and legs separate from his torso. So in the past, it would be all animation based. They would drop to their knees and just get in the right spot, not move their arms very much. Now, if the puck is going to the left, he'll move his arm or his leg to stop it. So the goalies look dynamic, organic, and they look really realistic in the sense that they're reacting to the puck naturally. So those 3 are the big areas of gameplay. So that improvement alone is massive. People will notice that as soon as they pick up the controller and start to play. And then we have 2 new game modes. We have GM Connected, which is the biggest online dynasty, which is 750 people can play together in a league. And that is done by having 1 commissioner who takes a team, 29 friends that join up and be general managers, and from there each of those general managers can have 24 friends that help them play the games against their friends. So you can have up to 6-on-6 gameplay for those teams that they're trying to wheel and deal and become the champions of the league. And then with the other mode that we have is NHL Moments Live, and that allows people to play through scenarios from last year, and when made available, when something cool happens in the regular season in the NHL, we'll be able to give you a brand new scenario. So the game you buy in September will actually be fresh in October, November, December. And the idea here is we want to connect these experiences together and let people play not only with the modes that they're playing with their friends, but also follow the real NHL and the season that they're watching on TV.
You planned any DLCs or something?
The system that we have is built off of, it's not DLC in the sense that it's not downloading art, but it is downloading you the information you need to see the 2 teams show up on the screen to play. So it is something new for us. We're very excited about it just because it gives that extra content for a user. I mean, everybody loves seeing new stuff all the time, and we want to give that to the users. So.
We are from Switzerland, and we know that some teams, or the Swiss Hockey League, inside. Can you tell us about something about that?
Sure. We've had the Swiss Hockey League in our game for 3 years. This will be the 4th year. Very excited. We are, being from Canada, everyone's into hockey. but we love watching the other countries and understanding that they have a big hockey market, and Switzerland is probably the fastest growing hockey market in Europe. And we've seen that in just how people have taken to our game. The National Virtual League. They showed us a video the first year, and our team was astonished because they'd never seen that much attention to our video game in this environment. So it's very cool. This year we have added 2 new stadiums to the game. We have La Resega in Lugano, and we have the Bossard Arena in Zug. So we actually are quite excited. We've worked with teams to build the stadiums. All the teams have been fantastic to work with. It's been very exciting for us to have the league in the game. And even us, some of our Vancouver Canucks have moved from Vancouver to play in the Swiss League. So it's very interesting to see a player like Jeff Tambellini, who plays with Zurich, who played with the Canucks, and we get to follow his career in our game as well as in the Swiss League. So it's a very cool thing to have these leagues in our game. And in the game alone, there's 2,600 European players in our game. So as much as everyone says, oh, Canada makes hockey players, no, the world makes hockey players. So we're glad to have them in our game.
In NHL 13 you have many new features, but what is the best part? What do you think is the best part of the game?
I think gameplay is going to change, where people, when they pick this one up, pick NHL 13 up, they're going to notice the difference. They're going to notice the players doing things that they've never seen before. They're much smarter, more intelligent. The hockey will feel better. And then when you take that and put that in the game modes that we've made, and even the older game modes we have, that experience now will be completely different. Whether you're taking a Swiss team through a season, that whole experience now will feel completely different than what it did in the past. So this year is such a big jump. We think that it's one of those must-buy. I got to get the game. If I'm a hockey fan, I want to get this game because it is the game that you will see the advancement of this franchise.
And then, what is the interesting thing about the process from the development?
It's we do it. The development's about 9-10 months long. When we finish a game, like me, I come here and I do a Gamescom, so I'm not working on the game right now. But the idea is that the team is working all the time on new features and new ideas. So right now they're moving forward and trying to figure out what would be for 14 and 15 in the future. So what for us is interesting is we're all hockey fans. The hockey world doesn't sleep. It always changes. Teams are moving players, or even something as simple as relegation in the Swiss League. There's that series at the end of April that we all follow, and we cheer on. Usually I cheer on the National Liga team because I don't want to change the teams. But if someone like Lausanne or some other team made it in, we work with the league right away to make that change and get the new teams in. So it's an honor to be part of hockey because I'm only 5'6". I don't play hockey very well. So this is as close as I'm going to get to the NHL. So I think it's that fun environment that we get to work in and have that experience that we're part of hockey. In a small way, we are really part of hockey. And we enjoy coming out to these events and seeing other people that want to be involved in hockey and like hockey. So it's a very cool experience for us.
And how looks like the skills of every players? How do they make, or they look like for the skills for every players?
So we have a professional scout who does all the ratings for all the North American leagues. There are 5 of them. And he scales everything, NHL, American Hockey League, and then the junior kids. And then even in Switzerland, we have a gentleman that helps us do all the ratings for the Swiss League. And then each area, each territory, Czech, German, Swedish, and Finnish, they have people that help us with the ratings. So they're all comparing against the world. The idea is we don't want one league to have numbers that are a little weird. So we kind of compare it against the world, and we know that everyone is the Swiss League is this good. Some of their players used to be in the NHL, so they're comparable, and some of the players never played in the NHL, so they might be a little lower, but still they're stars in the Swiss League because they're the top players. So we don't really worry about ratings too much. It is a big focus for our fans, but for us, every man that plays in our game is a professional hockey player. None of us would be as good as the lowest player in our game because that's what they do for a living. If it was that easy, we'd be doing it. So that's our kind of comparison.
It's possible to show us something and tell us about the game.
So I'll take you into the skating just to show you an idea of how the skating works this year and compared to the past. So we'll just go into a free skate. It allows me to take one player and skate around. And I'll show you how the difference in what we did with how we made his feet and all the new animations work properly. So in the past, the turning was done without actually respecting the blade. So a player, when he turns, usually he's crossing his feet over and over again to turn and move and pivot. Yeah. We didn't have that. We had it, but it wasn't as good as we wanted it. So this year we have one of our programmers who played hockey at quite a good level. He sat down, we did a motion capture shoot with some junior players, and they skated for us, and we just sat down and understood what they're doing at every moment. Hockey players can't explain what they do. They just do it. It's over the years. It's like riding a bike. If they got to turn left, they turn left. They don't think about it. So when you get someone to do it slower, it's very confusing for them. So it was an experience for them as well as us. But once we started getting the idea of how it works, the job was now to try and make it show up on the ice. So I'll show you a quick example of what we did with the acceleration and the momentum, and then I'll show you how we did the creativity, which is the turning. So when a player accelerates in the game last year, the acceleration was I would get to my top speed and I would stay there, and it would be very static. Almost all the players were so close in range that it didn't really seem like there was a difference. Now when you play, there will be a big difference between a third and fourth line player compared to a first line player whose skating might be 10 points higher. So when you skate forward in real life, you accelerate, so you take a few big steps, you glide in control, and then you skate full speed. Yeah. So with that being said, your full speed doesn't happen very often because there's large men in the way all the time. And when they get in the way, you kind of slow down. People glide. They make sure that they can see where they got to go, and then they go there. So one of the big things we wanted to do is make sure that when you turn and you're going full speed, the momentum is really important. So in the past, I could turn and get right to the front of the net. Mm-hmm. Now I can't because your momentum is taking you and pushing you forward. So I'll show a quick instant replay of that. Turn here. So when you turn, you'll see his feet start to grind in. And that's basically momentum and physics taking over. He may want to go right to turn, but his feet, because they're on ice and he's only on thin blades, it's actually going to push him out. It's like a car. If you drive 120 kilometers an hour and you decide to turn and don't hit the brakes, your car starts going out. Same thing. Skaters are pretty much that style of momentum, and we wanted to bring that to the user. So you'll see that he's basically trying his hardest to turn, and he doesn't make the front of the net. He hits the side of the net. So that is really important in terms of speed and defense too. If you know the guy can't turn very well, you don't have to worry about him. You kind of just make sure he doesn't get there, and you control him. So creativity is very big too. So in the past, you couldn't do what I'm doing right now. It was very hard. So you can see that his feet are moving naturally, and he's doing it all backwards. You can go forwards, and his feet are moving all correctly. That's how a player moves his feet. I can turn, I can shoot. In the past, it was very choppy. His skating wasn't good enough to deal with all those situations. Now I can turn, and I can pretty much do what any player does in any professional league. So now on my feet and my hands give me a lot of creativity.
This looks very awesome.
To me, this is the biggest change in gameplay just because it feels so smooth. Video games, perception of what you see in real life on TV, if you can make it do what real life players do and feel good, it feels like they're playing hockey. And that's what we were aiming at, trying to get the players to feel like you're playing hockey. And in the past, you were playing hockey and it was feeling good. We've just taken it to the next level. And then the goalies themselves all react separately with their arms and legs. So you'll see things like if I skate in and shoot to the left, oops. If I just shoot to the right, so there he moved his arm specifically to stop that puck. In the past, he would have just done an animation, got in the way, and if it ended up close enough, he'd catch it. But really, now he's going to move it exactly to stop the puck. So the goalies look way more natural. and they actually feel very good to. See, there he goes. He's reacting to the puck exactly the way he got to shoot there. So gameplay is very big. We think this will make those users in Switzerland and all the other countries who love our game feel like they're playing a brand new hockey game.